Oh my goodness. Today, we're looking at yet another movie. Another terrible, terrible movie. Cars 2. What did Cars 2 do? It basically ruined a lot of Pixar and their reputation. I mean, think about it. After Cars 2, we only had a couple of good Pixar movies. All of them were either bad or mediocre. But Pixar is kind of getting back on track with some of their newer movies like Toy Story 4 and Soul, which are very good movies, and they're getting back on track to the legendary movies that they made in the 2000s. But today we're going to talk about how this movie, this one movie, ruined Pixar's reputation. Let's just get right into it. Our movie starts out with some spy stuff, because this is a spy movie, a cliche spy movie, but with cars, with Mater. With Mater, you know, the side character. This feels like it should be one of those Cars Tunes shorts, like the Mater Tall Tale things. That's what it feels like. I feel like that's what it should have been. Much shorter, not as long, and not a horrible movie. We see that there's a car sending out a transmission to another car named Finn McMissile. They are spy people, and this whole first section of this movie is just really boring. It's just a bunch of spy stuff, and Finn finds out that they have some sort of camera that does something. We don't find out what it does, because before we can, Finn sees the friend that we saw in the beginning that was calling for Finn to come to the place is now dead. Wall-E style, crumbled up into a little box. And Finn gets pretty mad over this. They end up spotting Finn, so Finn doesn't learn out anything else, and they start shooting. The car has guns. It's kind of crazy. We get a really long chase sequence where Finn kills some people, he explodes some stuff, and he ends up getting away. He gets away by jumping into the water and putting on a breathing mask, so I guess cars do have lungs. Everyone thinks he's dead, but he's not dead. He is under the water and he's escaping. We see that Lightning McQueen is on a date with Sally, who was mainly the main love interest of the last movie, but she does not appear basically at all throughout this movie, except for a couple scenes. Lightning McQueen starts watching the news, and we see that Miles' Axelrod is developing a new fuel called All in All, and that he wants to promote it by having a race with all of the top racers worldwide. Lightning McQueen isn't gonna go because it's his kind of break from racing. He just won another Piston Cup, and he was going to take a break until Francesco, one of the racers from worldwide, says that Lightning McQueen is just too scared to go against him. And obviously, McQueen decides to go because he sees that this dude publicly outed him, so he wants to beat him in a race, obviously. So, the whole crew travels to Tokyo, and this is the one thing about this movie, is that the places that they go to honestly look super cool. Like, just look at these beautiful landscapes that they have developed in the, like the city of Tokyo looks so good. They end up visiting, I guess, a before party of the race, and they meet all the other racers that have been racing there, all the racers from worldwide. Then, Mater and Lightning McQueen meet Francesco, the Italian racer that was outing them publicly on TV. We see that Mater is embarrassing Lightning McQueen, because before, Lightning McQueen told him not to embarrass him, so of course he is. We see that Finn McMissile is at this party, and so is another spy car. Miles Axelrod gives a speech, and then Lightning McQueen goes up there and he talks a little bit. And then Mater goes up there, and then he literally pees on the stage. It's so bad. Mater ends up going to the bathroom, and then he sees this weird, this is supposed to be like a bidet. And of course, the American doesn't understand it. After that whole thing, another spy car arrives in the bathrooms, thinking that Finn McMissile is there, but a bunch of the goons that we saw earlier come and they beat him up, But luckily Mater actually saves his life, and then he gives him a tracking device. And then one of the female spies that we saw earlier that was talking to Finn McMissile thinks that Mater is the American spy that they were looking for. And now the rest of this movie fully focuses on Mater, and it becomes a spy movie. We see that the actual American spy is now inside of a warehouse, and they're giving him a little bit of this all-in-all stuff, which is the new fuel stuff. And we learn that the camera that we saw earlier, if it is hit with that, it explodes. It explodes, and they end up killing the actual American spy. But not before they learn that he put the tracking device on Mater. Then we learn that the race is going on, the big old race, and there are parts from many different races across the world. Like, there's a dirt section, there's a swirly section. This part of the movie is actually kind of cool, this racing part. But we remember before the race started, they filled all of the people up with all-in-all, because remember, this is a race that the all-in-all creator came up with. But all the goons are there, and they start taking out racers with the camera. But they end up stopping doing this whenever they see that Mater is in the pits. They all go for him, but then the other spies learn that Mater is also in the pits. So they have to protect him. The race is still going on, and we see that McQueen gets actually a lead in front of Francesco on the dirt part, because McQueen's better at dirt racing because of Doc Hudson. Go back to Mater, and he is currently running away from the evil people. Well, he's not really running, because he doesn't know that he's being chased down by the evil bad guys. But Mater doesn't realize that he has been blabbling into Lightning McQueen's ear, which catches him off guard and ends up causing him to lose the race. Lightning McQueen is obviously upset by this. Then we see that they're all at the airport because they are heading off to another race, and then we get some more spy stuff. That's just some more explosions, some more shooting, some more chasing. And then they end up getting onto a private jet, and this jet heads off to Paris, where they meet Finn's informant, where he learns that the most recent shipments of parts for these cameras was dispatched to Italy, which of course is where the next race is, because why wouldn't it be? So we go to the next race, where we see that the camera is taking out more cars, and it ends up causing a multi-car wreck. And Lightning McQueen and Francesco are the only ones that are left standing. In the middle of this race, we just go back to the spy stuff, where Mater is sent to infiltrate a meeting of the bad guys in disguise. After this whole unnecessary thing, Lightning McQueen ends up winning the race. But at the end of the race, they obviously suspect all-in-all is doing something to these fuel engines, causing them to blow out. So Axel says that they do not have to use all-in-all while racing, but Lightning McQueen says he will still be using all-in-all. But the bad guys obviously hear this, and so they decide that Lightning McQueen must be taken out. Then we see that Mater and Finn McMissile actually end up getting caught. Then we see that the next race is in London. The race starts, and Francesco takes an early lead. And we get some cool racing where actually Lightning McQueen ends up passing him. And then, of course, the camera comes back. But then they learn that the camera is not working on Lightning McQueen. It's not blowing up his car. But they had another option. They planted a bomb inside of Lightning McQueen's pit. Mater actually ends up escaping, and he rushes to Lightning McQueen's pit to actually save them. Then Finn McMissile actually tells Mater that the bomb is not inside the pit, it is on Mater. Lightning McQueen comes to his pit, and he sees that Mater's there, and he wants to say hi to Mater because he hasn't seen him since like 20 minutes into this film. But Mater has the bomb on him, so he has to go away from Lightning McQueen. So it ends up in a race between Mater and Lightning McQueen. Mater trying to get away from Lightning McQueen as he is chasing him. Mater tells his spy car that he needs to get away from Lightning McQueen, so it deploys his jets. Oh my goodness, why? Just why does he have jets on him? When were these installed? The bad guys try to actually explode Mater, but he is out of range of the detonation. But there's still a timer on the bomb, so it goes off whenever that timer ends. As they are trying to figure out how to disarm the bomb, they learn that it is voice activated, and that they do not know who activated it. Then they get cornered by the bad guys, but then the fire truck comes in and he hits them with the hose. But then Mater actually ends up figuring out who is behind all of this, which is the axle guy, and that the whole reason he did this was to make oil look good and any other fuel look bad. But I don't get it. I don't understand it at all. Why didn't he just make the other fuel and then try to make oil look bad? Like, come on. Then Mater ends up forcing Axel to say the password to the bomb, and Mater saves the day. Mater and Lightning McQueen become best of friends again, and then Mater gets, I guess, cited as a knight. I don't know. Everyone's back at Radiator Springs, and then there is another race, because there was no clear winner, I guess, in the other races. Lightning McQueen is in the lead until Mater comes in with his rockets and then ends up beating everyone. Why? Why? And then the movie ends. Why? Just why? Why does it end like that? Like, that shouldn't be Did Mater win the race? I don't think he should, because that's just like, that's like cheating. This movie is very bad. It's very, very bad. But all this, all this criticism from this movie and how bad it got rated, made them make a better movie, Cars 3, which is actually a lot better than this one. It's not the best, but at least it's better. It has a better plot other than spy stuff, cliche spy stuff. It's just, it's a lot better. But that'll be all for this video, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.